for you, maybe. Would our club secretary, Alan Bernstein, please join me at the rostrum and introduce today's speaker and MC, Lance Miller.
Thank you, President Jay. Relax yourself. Here we go, folks. Lance Miller is a graduate of Michigan State University. Yes, he is a Spartan at heart, but he is not a Spartan in talent. He has a degree in food systems, economics, and management, and he began working as a teenager in his family's milk and ice cream company. What a great family business. I can't believe you never leave that. But he was quite the adventurer. He has set He has set atop 14,000-foot peaks, rafted some of the roughest whitewater in the United States. He sailed transatlantic from the Virgin Islands to Norway. He's piloted his own aircraft from Michigan to Key West. He scuba dived under the ice of frozen lakes in the dead of winter.
Superman.
He's a little crazy. And he has twice hitchhiked across Europe. He's been the guest on over 150 television and talk radio shows across America. He's delivered over 300 public addresses at civic forums on the importance of fundamental human rights as a foundation to civilization. And if that's not enough, Lance is a member of Toastmasters International. And in 2005, he competed in a field of 28,000 contestants from 90 countries. And ladies and gentlemen, he won the title of the World Champion of Public Speaking, if you can believe it. This is the truth. He is the LeBron of loquaciousness. So please give a warm LA5 welcome to one of our own, an evocateur of the highest evolution, a prince of profundity, our own virtuoso of verbosity. I'm sorry, okay. Today's MCs for President Jay's Demotion, Lance Miller.
Thank you, Alan. You read that just like I wrote it. Well, it's certainly a pleasure and an honor for me to be selected for this task today. And let me just start by simply saying, fornication. Sorry, excuse me. Fornication like this. I think we should all be proud to be LA5 Rotarians here to Demotion Jay. You know, Alan called me a couple weeks ago and he said he wanted me to be the guest speaker for an outstanding Rotarian, a person that exemplifies what leadership is, who has made a difference in the success of this club for several years, and who actually is a living motto of service above self. And then he called me 2 days later and he said he couldn't show up, but we're going to Demotion Jay. Would you still be willing to speak? And I have to admit, I really didn't think I had anything common with Jay. I don't know what I would say. I mean, one of the key things of being a speaker is you have to know your message that you want to give. You have to know your audience you want to give it to. But I started to look at my experience with Jay, and I realized we actually have a lot of things in common. I grew up in Indiana. He grew up in Texas. And those are two states that are not California. I went to Michigan State. He went to Pepperdine. And those are two schools that are not USC or UCLA. He has a Japanese wife. I drive a Japanese car. We both wear neckties. I mean, it's mind-boggling, the amount of similarity between the two of us. I've been in this club for 5 years, and I have to tell you, it just seems like I still feel like a newbie here with the magnitude of what this club is. But Jay was one of the first people I met. And I remember looking at this gentleman across the room with this baby face and bow tie. And I walked over to him and I found out that he was from Texas. And I went, well, you know, when you wear a tie like that in Texas, there's one or two things you can do. You can either put up or shut up. And I think the fact that he lives in California tells you what choice to choose. As I got to know Jay over the years, I really have found him a very, very difficult man to ignore, but I would tell you it's well worth the effort if you can. as Alan was saying, I grew up in a small town in Indiana, and my family had a milk and ice cream business, which is just tremendous way that I grew up. My father wanted to make sure we were productive. He built a barn, put about 8 horses in it. At 10 years old, my first job was shoveling manure. And I can remember looking back on my life and thinking, what did I learn as a kid in that barn? And there were 3 valuable lessons that have carried me through life. And the first one is the only way the job gets done is 1 scoop at a time. I used to sit there and wish that manure in that manure spreader, and it would not budge. The only way that stall was getting clean and that barn was getting clean was to start scooping. The second lesson I learned was that any job I had after that was, the second lesson I learned was it's better to handle it on a daily basis and allow it to accumulate. And that has served me very well in life. And the third lesson I learned was any job I had after that was a promotion. Now, when I look at Jay's presidency, I think we can all agree that Jay handled the job 1 scoop at a time. And I think we can all agree that Jay didn't allow things to accumulate. He handled them on a daily basis. And Jay, I'm proud to tell you right now that any job you have after this in Rotary, it will be a promotion. This is a really phenomenal club. I had the opportunity to travel around the world. I've been to Rotary clubs in Australia, the Middle East, and Bahrain, around the United States, from Tampa to Kansas City to Michigan to my father's club in Aspen, Colorado. And when I stand up and I talk about LA5, and we say we have over 350 members, 400 members, we have this huge foundation, we're the 5th club in Rotary, I see these other clubs sort of shrink into oblivion, and I have to tell you, I really enjoy going to those other clubs and saying that. But I will also tell you that when you have a club that, to me, is almost an anomaly in Rotary International, it's an anomaly in Los Angeles. And as a new person coming in here, it can almost be overwhelming sometimes to think that you would be able to make an impact with everything going on in this club, all the things we do, the stellar membership that this club has. I mean, when you look at it, we've got, as an example, we were just celebrating Paul Netzel the other day, not missing a Rotary meeting for 40 years. You know, and past Rotary International Director, we got John Clairhout, who was a charter member of this club. But what happens is you come in and it seems like there's all this leadership and all these people, and it's very easy as a new member to go, what difference can I make? You know, it's daunting almost. I mean, just how to get to know everybody in the club. Still to this day, I'm lost if some people don't have name badges on. You know, it's like, I recognize the face, but I need your badge to find your name. It is an experience to join this club. But the truth of the matter is that to any degree that any of us in this club decide not to be LA5, LA5 starts to not to be. And what can happen, and it can look like we have this great history, but that history will not continue unless each and every one of us are putting our energies into LA5 on a daily and weekly, a monthly basis. I remember about a year ago, I was sitting down at LA5 with Jay, and he was getting ready to take the presidency by the helm or the horns. I guess it's by the horns if he's from Texas. The sailing I've done, I take it by the helm. And he'd had a few drinks, and he's just really hysterical to talk to after he's had a few drinks. And these things start coming out about, I think this is going to be crazy. I'm president of, going to be president of LA5, I'm going to be president of Knights Templar, and has a new child, you know, to take care of, 2 of them. Okay, and all the things that were going on, and I just sort of started this starry, deer in the headlights glaze in his eyes that was not related to the drinking. And I could see the overwhelm, and he was sort of looking at it. How was he going to do this year? But there's one thing that I think Jay really shared with me in looking at what he did, and that was that he had decided to do it. And when you decide to do something, it's an amazing thing that happens, and decide's a fascinating word. I read a great book on decide one time. If you haven't read it, I recommend you read it. It's called The Dictionary. And it actually comes from 2 Latin words. It comes from the word de, which means to and away from. So you have two things, you're going to go away from one of them. And it also comes from the word cide. And if we look at what other words end in cide, we have homicide, suicide, genocide, herbicide, pesticide. It means to kill. That's what it means. CIDE means to kill. Technically it means to cut off, but it actually means to kill. So when you decide, what you're doing is you're killing one side. Now you may have known somebody in their life that decided to take a job, but they really didn't decide to take a job. They're always wondering if they should have taken that other job. You may have known of somebody that decided to get married, but they really didn't decide to get married. They're always wondering if they should have married their high school sweetheart or not. They didn't really kill the other side. I'm not supposed to say, don't go kill your high school sweetheart. Don't do that. But when we look at deciding to join LA5, do we decide and then kill the other side that says, I don't have time to come? Do we kill the other side that says, there's an event this week and I need to be there? You know, I cannot not be there. What I saw with Jay when he decided to take this presidency post, regardless of what was going on, he was taking the president's post. And he did that. And because of that, the city of Los Angeles won, because LA5 is a strong club serving the community. LA5 won because we've had great leadership over this last year. Rotary International won because they have a great club, a stellar example of what Rotary is. And I will guarantee you that Jay won because you are not the same person today that you were a year ago previous to this experience. And what I know is you get out of life what you put in it. I was talking to Ken Chong earlier this week, and we were talking about the condition of the club, and I love Ken when he was talking about a member that had not resigned and he quit. He's on the phone with him with the amount of compassion that he had when he was saying, I've never even met you. What, have you ever come to a meeting? And the guy joined, and I don't know who he was. I don't think he ever came to a meeting, and then he was complaining he never got anything out of LA5. Duh. I mean, what we get out of this is what we put in it. And we are part of the community. And we make a big impact in this community. And I will just tell you from my experience with LA5, I have had, as we all do, tough situations come up in life. One of my main messages is life is a messy proposition. There's no straight lines or right angles in it. It's a messy proposition. But the high point of my week many times is coming here and seeing all of you because of the support that I get and the great people in this club. And we need to make sure we keep that culture of welcoming people in and being sort of a bastion of sanity and safety for the members as well as a source of community involvement and improvement for the community. And that only happens by every one of us giving everything we can to move this club and organization forward. And it stands back to one of my fundamental beliefs that keeps me sane through everything I walk through in life is that you are as valuable as you help others. And you need to align yourself with people that help others. And that was really my motivation for coming into Rotary. I get to travel around the world with the Toastmasters organization, and there's two big differences between Toastmasters and Rotary. And if there are any Toastmasters here, do not say I said this. Please cut off all recording devices. In the Toastmasters organization, people are trying to develop their skills so they can become what they want to. What I've seen in Rotary, people have already become what they want to, and they want to get back to the community. And so, and that is a huge difference because you have such an incredible group of people that have accomplished so much in their life, but they realize they still want to give more, which is really the mark of what I think one of the beauties of humanity. And before I start segueing off into, how I got pulled off of the Alpha Phi sorority house at 3 a.m. in college, or, I turned down by Miss Finland for a dance one time, let me just say that Jay, after this meeting, is going to join the distinguished group of red badges. And like all secret societies, there are secret codes. There's secret symbolism hidden in that organization. And I was astonished to discover the meaning of the red badge. There was a movie that came out called Red. You saw that with Bruce Willis and some folks, and it was Retired, Extremely Dangerous. But in Rotary, it's Rotarian, Extremely Disturbed. So, Jay, to being a Rotarian, extremely disturbed. Thank you very much for your service for this past year. To bring to the stage the gorgeous, the dazzling, the fantabulous Carol Schaefer.
Well, what an introduction that is. Well, it's me again, Bebop, the birthday babe. And this was my accompaniment. I call it my posse pitch pack. But you know, I met this wonderful man named Kevin. He's sitting over there at the piano, and he's with the Salvation Army. And I told him the song I was going to sing, just with different lyrics, though, you know what I mean. And he's actually from England, so he wasn't too familiar with this song. But let me tell you something. This guy's he's a miracle. He learned it in 15 minutes. And he's actually playing it from the music from his phone. So, Kevin, hit it. Oh, wait. That calls for a song, don't you think? Yeah! Okay, there, hit it. Okay.
Listen to me, pal. Before you expire, you need to giddy up because you are fired. Oh, what a beautiful morning. Oh, what a beautiful day. He's getting his demotion. Kim Chung finally says yay. He's getting his demotion. No more kilt wearing Jay. We reckon he'll be all gone. No more bow tying. No more whiskey drinking. No more wonderful Jay.
Carl. That just confirmed I'll never be president of this club. Now I'd like to welcome up here a couple of Jay's friends, Rick Sarmiento and LJ Rivera, for God knows what. So come on up, guys. Posse.
To be careful. Now, it just got interesting. You never know what can happen now. Okay.
Who did Rick the mic?
Going fast. You ready? So, will you stand up for me? Okay, Ken Chong, will you join us? Come on over. Come on over. So here's the deal. If you get it right, you get the prize. If you don't get it right, it goes to President-elect Ken Chong. Okay? Todd Stiggerman's here. He's got prizes. He's going to hand them out as we go as quickly as possible. Okay?
All right.
I'm going to ask you questions. I'm rooting for you. I'm rooting for you. Do the game show host guys actually root for the people? I don't even know. But I'm rooting for you. But I'm still also going to hold you to it, brother. So you got to get the questions right. You sure? All right, here we go. So if they're right, whoever's right, give it to whoever wins. Now, Jay is an excellent golfer. Fantastic. Has anybody ever golfed with Jay? One special one for you, my brother. There you go. To start you off. Now, there's more to come. Yes, you never know. So, could be from anywhere, but here comes Singerman. He's got more. Now, President-elect. If you don't get it right, let's go to the President-elect. Okay? All right, ready? Okay. Who is in the... and I'm a little biased, but I'm going to try and help you, okay? But they're going to get harder. Who is the most amazing, wonderful female supporter in this past year as president ever in the history of the world, according to you? There you go. Awesome. They're going to get harder. Who sponsored President-elect Ken Chong when he became a member? He does not know that. Ken Chong wins. Ken Chong. Okay. Who sponsored me? Come on. He was mentioned earlier. No, it wasn't you. It was mentioned earlier. Claire, somebody yelled Claire. Who yelled Claire out? If you like cigars, you get a cigar. It was the amazing John Claire. Okay. What is one thing that you have managed to get members to do that no member in the history of the organization, or no president in the history of the organization has been able to do?
Stay away.
3 seconds. Oh, boom. President-elect gave it up. He wants to give it up. See, he stood, how many you got? You got 1, and you only got 2. All right, so it's a tie. It's a tie. Okay. Good.
What was the answer?
The answer was wear bow ties. Who, really? And everybody wore them?
Technicality, disqualification.
Right on. President Jay, on your demotion, what are the things that you and I do best when we golf? Smoke cigars, and there are 2. There you go. Good, I get another one. You get 2 for that. Okay. What is the, in terms of actual golf now, what is the best thing that I do, like as a golfer? What's my strong part of the game? Wrong. And Chong wings. For some reason I can putt. Everything else is, but I can putt. Let's see. President Ken Chong. Okay. Got one more for you, buddy. This is for all the marbles, man. And this will include... Now, I know this, that when I explain what this final prize is for, that everyone in the room will be cheering for you, will be wanting you to get this question right, except for President-elect Ken Chong. Because if you get this right, for all the marbles, on behalf of myself and Josh Singerman, we will be hosting you, my friend, for a 3-day golf event in Tampa, Florida, all expenses paid.
Woo! That's not pressure. Right. Do I have a...
No. All right, so you gotta get it. So, right now, Ken Chong is going, don't get this right, don't get this right. Everybody's rooting for you, okay? Let's say it's like the daily double for you now, okay? For all the marbles, if you answer this correct, the prize is gonna be yours. What is Actually, I'm wording it the wrong way. How many hours of sleep will President-elect Ken Chong get on a daily basis for the next year? There's a specific number. He told me what it is, so it's actually on him. So he picked an interesting number. Well, you lived it. That's how, brother, you lived it. How many hours is he gonna get to sleep? Less than 6. Give me a specific number. Yes, it is. Take one. You got it. I know you got this. Yeah, you got it. Actually, he said less than 5, so you got it. All right, good. So now, you can give him the balance there. I have one last thing I want to say. About our amazing president. Thank you, brother. Thank you. Listen, I have one last thing I want to say. The one thing that you have absolutely exemplified for me in my life, and this comes from one of the deepest parts of my soul, brother. So stop smoking cigars and listen to me, please. Listen, man, you've been someone who has reminded me about not only all the amazing things that people have said about you and your leadership and all those things. Those are fantastic things, and you've exemplified that. And I know I'm just saying what everybody else agrees with. You've done a fantastic job. Your leadership, everything you've done has been fantastic. Aside from that, above and beyond that, what you have been to me and to others I know in this room that I'm very close with, is you have been an example of something that this morning I woke up and it just showed up on Facebook. And I went, wow, I cannot believe the timing of this is absolutely amazing. And it was Psalm 115. Not unto us, Lord, not unto us, but to your name be the glory, because your love and faithfulness. And you are a continuous reminder to me of the importance of that scripture. So I thank you, brother. I love you. God bless you. You did a fantastic job.
Enough of all that sentiment now. Let's have a little bit more fun with you real quick, since you are such a fantastic connoisseur of great whiskey and scotch. We would like to do a little taste test for you. And so we got a blindfold for you. So we'll see, we're going to put your skills to the test, basically, and see how well you really can. Yeah, that's okay. I know, you said you can't drink any scotch, but only one taste. Most expensive scotch that we can find on the market, and he's going to love it. This is no wild turkey, but okay, so here we go.
Do I get a prize for this too?
Yeah, sure. You get to keep the scotch, the one that's your favorite. That's right. There you go. Here we go. So we got just 3 samples, and I'm going to give you the glass right here. It's a traditional Scotch coffee cup.
I see.
So go ahead and I don't know if you no peeking now. And you don't have to guess the name or anything. You're just gonna whichever you think is best. Yeah, not too much now.
A little bit of heat.
Little peak.
Caramel.
Ah, good.
Not too heat.
Not too peaty? Okay. This one's really peaty. So let's try this one now. This is number 2.
It's not like whiskey at all.
Come on now.
And it's not.
Oh, it's not. Okay, well, we'll let the judges decide on that one. Okay, we got one more here for you. And let's give this last one a shot and see what you think about this one.
Space side. Right at the heat. 10-year in oak cast, maybe 2 years in sherry cast. Yep. And that's that sherry finish. That's probably the balance.
there's a lot of accolades for President Jay today, and I'm here to sort of set the record straight. And we're going to visit some of his sins before you. And we have a sergeant at arms. Where is she? Kate? Do you have the summons and complaint?
There's been a summons for you.
Do you still have arrest powers?
I think it's a gag order also.
Now you're probably wondering what it is that President Jay has done. And I am going to conduct a trial here, give an appropriate due process. But he has... in general, here's what he's done. Violation of Rotary International policies, protocols, and procedures, also known as PPs. You know what PPs, don't you? Okay, good. Your wife knows what PPs too. But specifically, what do we have in one? What are the charges? Drinking whiskey while conducting a Rotary meeting. Additional allegations are cigar smoking, violation of California Club's Code of Conduct. This one here. This next one here is great. Evading California taxes by maintaining a domicile in Texas. Now, you know, Illumina and yeehaw and all that stuff, but think how smart he is not to pay taxes in California. Waste our money. Another charge? Over-reliance on bow ties to gain attention. Somewhat narcissistic. But here's the big one. I was the person who witnessed this one, and after it occurred, I'd go through a 12-step program. But I was district attorney for 12 years. And then we had an election, and we replaced me with another district attorney. Her name was Jackie Lacey. And it's traditional that the president of Rotary invite a newly elected district attorney to become an honorary member. But our president sent an email to Alan Jackson, the guy that lost.
Actually, I sent it to Jackie Lacey, but called her D.A. Jackson.
That's right. He went to her, but it said District Attorney Alan Jackson. I caught it, as you recall, and then you blamed your computer. Take responsibility. Anyway, that was a big one, and I'm sure there's many others that we all know about. But we're going to ask you now to go through these charges and see if anyone's going to defend you. We're going to ask you now to put on your LA Kings jersey. This is in honor of Robitaille.
How did that find its way here?
You know what? They just write this stuff for me, and I read it. I don't know. Don't ask me tough questions here. Now, I made a few charges. I think they've been pretty well taken. People have agreed with most of them. But is there anyone here in this room that can stand and defend Jay's presidency?
I can.
You can?
His wife.
Yours white? Oh, okay.
Partner in crime!
All right, well, great. What can you say in his defense?
Well, he was pretty busy all the time and never saw his ass. But
You only saw his back every night?
Yeah, I was at the computer. I'm doing Rotary.
I have to say, I guess he wasn't that busy.
so sure you're much of a great All right. But I'm impressed by your sincerity, not by your logic. Congratulations on, was it a boy or a girl? Oh, it's a girl. Oh yeah, thank you. I think we have something for you in that regard. And who's the president-elect?
I'll stand in for the president-elect, but on behalf of LA5, you think Lady Miyuki should get cigars too. So we have some It's a Girl cigars, and Ms. Mark has selected the color. So thank you very much.
Is there anyone else that can stand in defense of President Jay?
I will defend this man. Let us not forget that President J. Ellen Richardson presided over the first LA5 mayoral debates. And ladies and gentlemen, let us not forget that President J. Ellen Richardson rekindled a relationship with our sister club in Nagoya, Japan.
That's pretty impressive, but you got anything else?
And let us not forget that under the steady hand and sober guidance of President J. Ellen Richardson, LA5 established the Early Act First Night Character Education Program. Let us not forget that President J. Ellen Richardson deepened and formalized the ties between LA5 and our beloved Miracle in Malibu, Pepperdine University. Creating, among other things, a Pepperdine Standing Committee that enriched our minds while simultaneously damaging our livers. And finally, sir, I beseech you, you surely must remember the Rose Parade. President J and past President Megan arranged for Myanmar Water Project founder and LA5 member James Warren and yourself, sir,
That's true.
to ride on the Rotary International float with Rotary International President Suguchi Tanaka. I rest my case.
That was impressive, but I'm not totally persuaded. The Rose Parade game was pretty neat, but I give credit to Megan. I have no other alternative except...
Actually,
You know what? Remain silent. You have a right to remain silent. I have no alternative to call forward the PPP, past President's Posse, in order then to retire President Jay's King's jersey. The Kings were dethroned, and so are you. I order the PPP to take President Jay off into the sunset, to preserve another past president of LA5, henceforth and forevermore, where he rightfully belongs. Will someone please give Jay something to keep him from getting a big hit for all his accomplishments?
All hat, no cattle.
involved. And Miyuki and Jay have two beautiful children, Jameson and Sakura, that are very close in age to my boys, and one more, which you can hardly tell, a little girl on the way. But it really is a sacrifice of the entire family. And you know, the president gets the fun of running the meetings and the prestige of the position, and the spouse just gets left with the kids. A lot. So today it's my honor and privilege to thank, on behalf of the entire club and our board of directors, First Lady Miyuki and Jay's father, Ken Richardson, for the personal sacrifices they made to make this year possible and to present them with Paul Harris Fellowships. The Paul Harris Fellowship is named for Paul Harris, who founded Rotary with 3 business associates in Chicago in 1905. The fellowship was established in his honor in 1957 to express appreciation for a $1,000 contribution to the humanitarian and education programs of the Rotary Foundation. Rotarians may also designate a Paul Harris Fellow to recognize another person whose life demonstrates a shared purpose with the mission of the Rotary Foundation, to build world understanding and peace. We move closer to a more peaceful world today as each of you becomes a Paul Harris Fellow. On behalf of our board, it gives me great pleasure to deliver the 2 emblems of a Paul Harris Fellow, which John has just tucked for me, the certificate and the lapel pin, to President Jay's father, Ken Richardson, as well as First Lady Miyuki. We have also arranged for their 2 children, Sakura and Jameson, to be named Paul Harris Fellows. And I will also present those to Miyuki on their own. My fellow Rotarians and guests, please join me in congratulating our newest Paul Harris Fellow. No one deserves more thanks than our very own president. President Jay, you have led this year with commitment, dedication, passion, and perseverance. You have shown tremendous leadership and tremendous service to our club. My fellow Rotarians and guests, please join me in congratulating President Jay Richardson on his Paul Harris pin +1 on behalf of the club. Thank you.
It's me now. So, first off, I want to apologize to you, Jay, for not wearing a bow tie today. I only have one, and I wore it last week because that's too small. But I will say that, yeah, I got a little dirty, and I couldn't figure out how to retie it because I didn't know. But I will say, you are the only man that I've had to go into a store and buy clothes for. So you should be proud of that. So, but what I do have, I don't have the bow tie, but I do have the club's gift to you for this great year. So you took a lot of heat today, but you know we all love you, and you did a great job. So this is from the club to you. And one other thing, John just threw this on my lap just now. We got a presidential citation from President Tanaka. This was awarded to us at the district conference, and it's also signed by District Governor Luce. So we'd like for you to have this as well. See, you can't get a microphone away from a past president. And I know we're almost out of time. I had to miss this, and this is such an honor. Unfortunately, because of the unexpected passing of my mother. So I just again want to welcome my father and retire my year in the name of my mother, Janet Richardson. Now, typical, I get the mic when we're already running over.
over, so I'm not gonna. So you'll have plenty of time to hear from me this whole next year. But there is something I would like to do. You all know that I'm really focused. I'm gonna take a lot of the pressure for bringing great programs every week. But the reality is, it's not me. It is our Vice President and Program Chair, Jose Vera. And it's another thankless full-time job, except you don't get the standing ovations. So I would like a big round of applause for Jose, as he's going to talk about what's coming up this year, and I'm going to pin him with the Vice President's pin. But you know, a lot of this year is going to be it's going to be the amazing work of Jose here. So I'm going to let Jose take the mic.
I guess this means that I'm officially in the Rotary business. And I can say there's been a little bit of work happening in the background. I can tell you business is good, very good. And if the 104th year of Jay's presidency is the beginning of the marketing campaign, this is where a good pitchman says, but wait, there is more. A lot more. And I'm not going to make you wait all that much. Only 2 weeks. We're dark the next 2 weeks. But on July 12th, please join us here at the California Club, where we will have the director in charge of the FBI in Los Angeles, Bill Lewis, coming to address us in the inaugural meeting, where we will be welcoming our new president, Ken Chong. So please join us July 12th. Right here, California Club. You do not want to miss it. Now, I did say there's much more. So, let's take a look. President of Verizon Wireless is coming. State Controller, John Chong, is coming. We have California PUC Commissioner, Catherine Sandoval, coming. We have Bob Love, President of Low Enterprises, coming. The list goes on and on and on. This is going to be a show you do not want to miss.
Yeah, someone needs to read it up. Yeah, we got still a couple of things left. The 50-50, where's the 50-50? This is for the line, okay. Well, let's let Jay take these. This was his.
Wait.
One that's bent.
Sarah Mason. Sarah, yes. And I think I saw her holding a membership application. This is a wine bottle well spent for our club.
$130.
$130. You're a big pro there.
Yeah, it is.
Okay. 6. 8. 7. 2. 9. 6.
Financial fraud?
Yeah. There it is. Congratulations, Mr. Cooley. Well, Jay, I'm just going to talk to you as a regular member. Jay, you still get to have closing comments.
I do.
You can have your last comment before I ring the bell.
Well, I already, well, thank you.
for being here. Thank you for celebrating with me. This has been fantastic. What a fabulous showing. I'm so proud of everything that you and this club have done over the last year, and I look forward to continuing the tradition and the history of our amazing club and supporting our new leadership under Ken Chong and Alan and Jose. And I hope you all will join me and be there for Ken's first meeting. We have a great year coming, and I look forward to being a part of it as a past president.
Well, I don't have the script book, and so I don't have an inspirational message. So we're over time. We'll see you July 12th. This meeting's adjourned.